Hey guys, what is going on? Sharp Thinking here. While I have the time, I wanted to quickly do a video talking about this AD20 from Demko. This is probably one of the most consistent hard use knife designs I've ever handled or experienced in person. Everything about this knife is tough, overbuilt, but also very realistically designed in a way that would actually make this a very viable hard use knife. So, before I get into any of that, we'll do a size comparison. So, here it is against a large Sebenza 21. So, we can line that up. Zan, one of my all time favorites. And this variant is in 3V, so get some 3V guys to put it up against. XM18, SNG, and do two more. Here it is against the Microtech SOCOM and the Stitch. So yeah, very, very beefy knife. 5mm blade stock on it, same as the SOCOM. But yeah, starting with the blade, it's again super thick, about 5mm. It maintains that thickness nearly all the way to the tip. In comparison to a knife like the SOCOM, you can see it starts tapering right around here on the SOCOM. Not the case with the AD20. It's like right in this region when it starts to taper. So super reinforced tip. Very, very rare to find that in a knife. The XM18 does a great job in both the drop point and spanto, whatever. But it's rare to see it on other knives. Yeah, so this version is 3V. I know a lot of people don't think 3V makes a lot of sense on a folding knife, and I was also in that boat at one point, but I've since reformed. I think it has a lot to offer in terms of edge stability, and I'm really not chasing edge retention these days. I've kind of hit the pinnacle of that with Vancron. I don't see myself owning a knife that has higher edge retention than that, so I'm kind of after different things than I was a year ago. But I don't know how the heat treat is on this 3V. It should be pretty good. I know that the other version that they offer this in is 20 CV, which is at times a great steal. Sometimes it isn't. In the case of the XM18, or not XM18, Hinderer in general, their 20 CV is very, very good. Manufacturers like Microtech, not so much. This is 204P, which is an analog steel, and it's not great. Their M390 is also not that good. So, yes, it is good. It's just not that good. But most people won't know. So yeah, in general, I would say that this knife gives off big time Hinderer vibes. The blade reminds me a lot of a Gen 4 XM18. It's about 25 thousandths behind the edge. So not super thin. I would have liked to see it thinner. Just especially in a knife that's 3V. I mean, 3V can handle quite a bit of force before breaking. But, you know, I'll take what I can get. So yeah, not only is it nearly the same thickness behind the edge, the grind is also strikingly similar, and the finish is very, very close to an XM18. Also very close to this guy. This is the Spartan Blades Palace. Much different lock situation going on here than the Palace, thank God. But yeah, all in all, I like the blade quite a bit. Moving on to the handle, Orange G10. I think they offer this in a full tie or, a multitude of colors. If G10. I think that is the extent of the handle materials. Texturing, very nice, not super aggressive, but it still offers a ton of grip, which this knife has tons of, but in a tasteful way. So when looking at knives like the XM18, similar, extreme contouring and whatnot, but the XM18 does something very differently. They jimp the shit out of spots that don't matter on the knife, and it ends up ruining the ergonomics of the knife when you don't have gloves on. I'll put that out there. This thing is damn near perfect. I don't really detect many hot spots. The clip actually is surprisingly not a hot spot on this example, but I think I may have figured out why. All in all, I would say that the contouring here, very well done. It doesn't like force your hand into a position that it doesn't want to be. It feels very natural and comfortable. And all things considered, the knife is super comfortable and does not feel that blocky, considering the thickness of the knife itself. So that's one of my biggest complaints with the standard thickness XM18. And that's one thing I really, really liked about the XM18 Skinny. Now, moving on to hardware. Hardware is very nice. I think hardware is important. I know a lot of people skip over it, but it is important. It's got to hold up to, disassembly a couple times. It's got to last as long as the knife. The screws on this are very high quality. Pivot screw has the city and state, and then obviously Andrew Demko's logo thing going on. I think it looks good. I would rather the markings be here on the pivot than on the blade. Something I did leave out about the blade. So in Ohio right now, it's very cold. So I've been wearing gloves quite a bit. And this opening hole right here has been super useful in getting the knife open. I think it would be great for two-handed opening too. Just a grip point. But I've been just popping this guy open with gloves on, and it has been super easy. So that's very nice to see. Now, what Andrew Demko is known for is being very innovative when it comes to locks. Now, I've not taken this guy apart. I don't know exactly what it looks like in there, but I have watched a video and I kind of have a rough understanding. Very similar to an axis lock. So what I mean by that is we have a piece of metal going onto a blade tang that keeps the knife from folding. That's a basic explanation of what it is. What's different about this? Okay, so most axis locks, not the Anthem I just showed, but most rely on omega springs or leaf springs, they're called. This relies on a coil spring, which is much more reliable than a leaf spring, usually. Now, the spring is contained within this locking bar right here. And yeah, that's pretty much how it works. It's very, very simple, as Andrew Demko's locks tend to be, which is pretty amazing because they're so simple yet so effective. And to me, that's always, kind of a beautiful thing. It's what I find super attractive about the Sebenza is very simple and very beautiful design. So, lock strength, I don't think should be an issue. I've actually given it quite a bit of thought, and if I'm understanding the lock correctly and the placement of everything, it seems like negative force on the blade would pull the locking bar further in towards the blade. So it would almost leverage it further onto the tang of the knife. So, should be solid. What else can I say about this guy? It does run on bearings. That is one kind of inconsistency that I see in this design. don't want to get a lot of dirt in there. Will it be fine? I'm sure it will be. I don't know if they're steel, ceramic, or what. I should take the knife down, and I definitely will before updating you guys on anything. Clip design, good to go. Part of the reason why there aren't too many ergonomic issues with this clip is because it dips down quite a bit. You can see that there. Does not give a lot of room for a pocket to slide under it, but it does kind of have pros and cons. Better ergos, and the trade-off is that it's harder to get in and out of the pocket, or just in the pocket. Yeah, this clip actually reminds me of the Spyderco Salt 1 clip, which is a very good thing. I love that knife, and I don't know. I kind of miss Spyderco clips. I don't own really any Spydercos anymore other than the Millie, which does not have the same clip. So that's something I've grown to miss in a lot of knives, is having just a well thought out clip, which I guess I do have a lot of knives with well thought out clips, like the Sabenza and the SOCOM, but I digress. Very cool knife. Super excited to see how this guy holds up. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching. If you've made it this far, I appreciate it. And yeah, that's all I got. So I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks again.